On this episode of Undercover Boss, a quasi-successful software engineer goes all in a unique auto repair shop.
So one day I just realized that celebrities that drive these cars, I don't want the Midas touch. They want real people that understand their first world problems.
To help make the business a success, Jason also built an AI boss.
Incapable of bias, never forgets anything, really good with numbers, never late, never forgets anything.
But sadly, his business isn't taking off like he thought and wants to figure out why.
So even with that AI robot and the best mechanic that I've ever seen, we still aren't hitting the projected profits that I made up in the business plan.
The next morning, Jason gets ready to go undercover.
I'm ready.
But you still look beautiful. I don't know why I said that in the video. Do-do-do. Da-da-da.
The disguise looks awesome, but I kind of think the makeup artist was cracking wise, making me look like Macaulay Culkin. No matter, Zack's never gonna know who I am. Let's do this.
How's it going?
Hey, I'm the new trainee.
Oh yeah, you're, what was your name?
All this time trying to get ready, I forgot to pick a fake name. So I had to look around the shop and try to find something I could relate to. Chad.
Oh, yeah, the boss told me you're coming. Perfect, let's get to work.
Awesome.
As soon as he walked in the door, I'm like, this guy is definitely a Chad or a Nick. So you're gonna need to check in with the boss.
All right.
So this is how you get in contact with him.
Uh-huh.
And I've really never met the guy in person, so.
Yep. It's a virtual boss?
Yep, virtual boss, you just call him on there, and he'll tell you everything you need to know. Hey boss, this is the new guy.
Hi,
Welcome. What is your username?
my name's Chad.
Oh, Chad. Don't be late to work again.
I guess that was easy. We can get started.
Yeah, do the electrical on that thing, and then I'll come back and show you the display cars.
Electrical, huh? I wonder what he meant by electrical. To be honest, I'm not even sure this is what Zack pointed to. That, and is this a car made for humans? Because I cannot see how anybody fits in there.
Okay, you got this thing wrapped up?
Yeah. It was easy. I figured it all out. What's next?
Well, we got Leonardo dropped off his Lamborghini, something about kicking a door handle or something.
Oh yeah, that sounds like him. All right.
So here it is. I don't know how he messed this up, but somehow he did something to this handle.
Okay.
And we can't get it fixed, so let's start with that.
All right. Sounds easy. And that's another good reason why celebrities bring their cars here. Because they know we're not going to judge them. Doesn't mean you can't, though. Check this video out. Yeah, that's DiCaprio right there trying to open his door with his foot. Yeah, that's how it broke. That guy, man, he'll be back.
All right, you got Leo's car all done?
Yep, yeah, I think it's looking good.
It's like every single thing he touched, I had to go in and fix it. JT, Justin Timberlake, just dropped off a challenge or something about you got to get it done quick or something. I don't know. You're gonna have to look at that thing. Whatever he's got, it's a mess. All right, so here's the challenger. You got to get this thing fixed. Something about the time counter is broken. One cop already ran out of time, but you got to fix this or JT's gonna get real mad.
I am so excited to be working on this car. Hopefully it's nothing major. It was used in the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake in 2011. Really happy he brought it here for us. Let's see how we get in here. No door handles. Oh boy. Oh, nope, just locked it. What in the heck? Oh my gosh, what happened here? Cool thing about this car is it's a cop car and it has a time recharger for your wrist. Because in the movie, they took the idea of time as money to the nth degree.
I need time.
Time transfer.
So here, the time charger is busted. As you can see, this charger has seen some better days. Put my wrist in there, I don't get any extra time. So it's definitely broke. I'll just have to get this back to my shop, build them a new one, and bring it back as soon as I can. In the movie, this device is pretty boring. All it does is flip up and make some sounds. We are going to add sounds to ours and it is going to move, but we're also going to add some lights to make it a little bit more exciting. We are going to add RGB lights here, and also add a projector that shows the time on your wrist here. The last thing we need to do is make this battery powered, so we're going to hide a battery inside here. After completing the design and fusion, I started printing everything out. Once the prints were complete, I used this really nice deburring tool to clean up the edges. I used to use an X-Acto knife, but I found that this works much better. All of the parts are ready for assembly. I first start by adding this 5mm dowel into the lid. Then I attach the belt gear and tighten it down. Once that is in place, I moved over to mounting the servo. I decided on using a belt drive system to open this lid. The servo I'm using is a 20 g/cm servo, which is pretty strong. In case you're wondering how the servo ratings work, this 20 kg servo can pull 20 kg of weight at 1 centimeter. 20 kilograms is about 44 pounds, so at 2 centimeters it should be able to lift this 15-pound weight. For the projector, I use these door lights that project an image onto the ground when you open the door. These seemed like they were going to work, so I just cut off the lens and then added a green filter to make the light green. To make a new lens for the projector, I just spray painted some plastic and then went over it with my CNC to scratch out the numbers. They make it easy to change out the lens, so I just swapped out the deer with these new numbers. The results weren't perfect, but then again it'd be almost impossible to replicate what they had in the movie with a projector. Now that the projector was complete, all I had to do was feed the power wires through the lid and mount it. For the ring light, all I used was WS2811 RGB lights. Now it was time to epoxy the two sections together. I had to be very careful to make sure I had the belt on before doing this. One final test to make sure everything works and so that there's no surprises in the future. After epoxying the two sides together, I just clamped them down and then waited overnight for everything to dry. I also made sure that the lid was moving freely and that I didn't accidentally glue it shut. Now that the box was together, we had to give it a more aluminum type look. To achieve this metal look, I used aluminum vinyl. This is automotive vinyl that I'm using, and it's super easy to apply. The adhesive on the back isn't active until you heat it up with a heat gun. That way, you can keep making minor adjustments until it's perfect, then use the heat gun to put everything in place. After the vinyl was all in place, I just used an X-Acto knife to do some final trimming. The final result was pretty good, and although it doesn't look exactly like metal, it's as close as I can get using plastic. To finish up with the ring lights, I added in LED foam and then put a protective cover over top of that. Luckily, this just snapped right into place. I spared you the pain of seeing me wire everything up, but we ran into our first problem. It seems like my belt idea isn't going to work. It just keeps slipping on the servo. This belt slipping was a huge problem, and not easy to fix either because I couldn't separate the two parts I epoxied together. After thinking about it for a while, I tested out a cam idea, and it seems to work. I knew after cutting this belt there was no going back, so hopefully this cam idea is going to pan out. After some adjustments and cam tuning, the lid is finally opening and closing. But then another problem came up, and this one was unexpected. The lid somehow collides with the center section, and I know I tested this before, and I even have video proof of it, so I don't know what happened at all. But it looks like I was going to have to redesign the center section to make this work. So back to Fusion 360 and made a new center section. This center section would have a window, and I always use this double-sided tape to hold everything down in my CNC router. It is ridiculously strong and holds everything down tight. Using this double-sided tape, I don't have to screw anything down, I just set it right on top of the cutting board. And for good measure, I decided it would be best if I break off the tip. After replacing the tip, I was able to finish cutting everything out. I assembled the center section with the internal batteries, and then tested everything out again. Finally got this thing working. It pulses when it's off, or when the lid is down, which is really cool because you can still see the aluminum work, but then the light shines through it. I think that's cool. You push the button, and it sounds from the movie. It shows you a number on your wrist. And that's it. Finally, I did a quick current test and found out that the batteries should last about 4 to 6 hours. That was not easy to get in, but we got the Tony Stark. But we got the Tony Stark heart. I'm going to plug it in here. Like so. This thing is in here so tight, it actually squeezed together the sides of the plastic and prevents it from going all the way down. That servo has enough force to bring it up. But as you can see, when it goes down, it just rubs a little bit too much.
Now with Justin's car completed, Jason only has one more task left: to tell Zack that he is the owner.
All right, Zack, I already clocked out for the day. Looks like we're done here.
Sounds good. I will, you got everything done?
I think so.
All right, I will see you tomorrow.
Oh, one more thing. I'm the owner.
Makes sense. In that case, we need some paper towels and maybe some sodas for the break room.
Right. I'll get on that. Cool. See you tomorrow.
Fantastic. Good disguise.
Well, that was fun. I think I really surprised Zack. But in the end, I found out that the AI bot was the one stealing money. Not because it's a bad AI bot or anything. It's just I made a coding mistake. I guess unit tests are important.